Hey Psych Geeks, how's it going? Do you ever wonder why people do the things they do? Well, there are actually quite a few psychological facts that can explain human behavior. So with that said, here are 5 psychology facts that explain people's behavior. Number 1. People judge others within 7 seconds of meeting them. Have you ever wondered what makes you you? According to psychologist Gordon Gallup Jr., we base our opinions of others off of 7 factors: appearance, body language, clothing, possessions, relationships, attitude, and mannerisms. We tend to draw conclusions about a person very quickly after meeting them. Our first impressions of others is influenced heavily by what we see with our eyes. Gallup explains that we judge others in less than 7 seconds. The American Psychological Association states that it takes a mere instant for us to form an opinion based on a stranger's appearance. This fact can explain why people may be hesitant to speak to strangers. Some may be too nervous about how they appear to others, while others may be afraid of making a bad first impression. Sometimes this may be true, but most of the time it's not. People usually won't judge you as harshly as you might think, and if they do, it probably means more about them than you. You should never let the fear of others' judgments stop you from living your life. There are plenty of people out there who would love to have the confidence you have in expressing yourself. So don't be afraid to let your personality shine through. What are some of your unique personality traits? Let us know in the comments below. Number 2. Mirror neurons make you yawn when others yawn. Have you ever noticed that you tend to yawn when someone else does? This phenomenon has a psychological explanation behind it. Mirror neurons are a special type of brain cell that becomes active both when we perform an action and when we see someone else perform that same action. An example of mirror neurons in action is when you hear another person yawning and you feel a sudden urge to yawn yourself. This is because the part of your brain that controls yawning activates automatically. In this situation, the sight of another person yawning triggers your mirror neurons, which then causes you to feel an almost involuntary urge to copy them. It's like your brain is trying to experience what the other person is going through, which makes perfect sense when you consider that humans are naturally empathetic creatures. But this phenomenon isn't limited to just yawning. It happens with any action that involves facial expressions, such as smiling or frowning. So the next time you see someone smiling, try to pay attention to whether or not you feel a smile creep onto your face as well. If you'd like to learn more about mirror neurons, we highly recommend checking out the research done by Dr. Giacomo Rizzolatti. He was the first scientist to discover mirror neurons in macaque monkeys back in the 1990s. Now he studies how these special brain cells help us understand the actions and intentions of others. It's fascinating stuff. Number 3. People are more likely to remember emotionally charged events. Have you ever wondered why certain memories stick with us for a lifetime while others fade away into obscurity? Well, it turns out that there's a scientific reason for this. A study published in the journal Psychological Science tested this theory by having participants recall neutral and emotionally charged memories. The results showed that people were better able to remember emotionally charged words like rape and murder than neutral ones like table and chair. The researchers concluded that this difference in memory is due to the amygdala, a part of the brain responsible for processing emotions. When we experience something that evokes a strong emotion, the amygdala activates and sends signals to the hippocampus, which is in charge of forming memories. This creates a stronger memory trace that is more resistant to forgetting over time. Knowing this, it makes sense why emotionally charged events leave a lasting impact on our minds. It could be a traumatic event that we never want to forget, or it could be a happy memory that brings a smile to our faces every time we recall it. Either way, the emotions associated with these events play a crucial role in our ability to remember them clearly. However, it is important to note that not all emotionally charged memories are created equal. The intensity of the emotion is what really matters. For example, a mildly annoying day at the office won't create the same level of emotional charge as a car accident. The stronger the emotion, the more vivid and long-lasting the memory is likely to be. This is known as the principle of emotional primacy, which states that emotionally arousing events are more easily retrieved from memory when there is competition for attention. So the next time you find yourself reminiscing about an old memory, ask yourself, What made this moment so unforgettable? Was it the people involved, the setting, or simply the emotions that were running high at the time? By understanding what makes memories stick, we can appreciate the moments that matter most and keep them close to our hearts forever. Number 4. The halo effect makes us think attractive people are smarter. Have you ever met someone who was so good-looking that you automatically assumed they were also intelligent and had great qualities? If so, you may have been experiencing the halo effect, a cognitive bias that causes us to generalize positive traits from one aspect of a person to another. In other words, when we see someone who is physically attractive, we tend to assume that they are also smart, trustworthy, and kind, even though there is no concrete evidence to support these assumptions. This effect was first described by social psychologist Edward Thorndike in 1920, who observed that people often make judgments about others based on their appearance alone. For example, if you meet someone and they look attractive to you, you may automatically assume that they are also intelligent, funny, and charismatic. Similarly, if you see a celebrity who looks smart and professional, you may assume that they are also compassionate and trustworthy. However, the halo effect can lead to inaccurate perceptions of others and can cause us to overlook their negative traits. When we meet a good-looking stranger, we may be so focused on their physical appearance that we fail to notice any warning signs that they may be untrustworthy or dangerous. Additionally, the halo effect can contribute to discrimination and prejudice, as it can cause us to make unfair generalizations about entire groups of people based on our preconceived notions about their attractiveness. Despite its potential drawbacks, the halo effect is a powerful cognitive bias that can influence our perceptions of others. By being aware of this effect, we can learn to look beyond a person's physical appearance and get to know them for who they are. It's important to note that the halo effect is not limited to physical attractiveness. It can also apply to other positive traits, such as intelligence, wealth, or status. For example, if you meet someone who seems smart, you may automatically assume that they are also honest and trustworthy, even if there is no evidence to support this assumption. Ultimately, the halo effect serves as a reminder that first impressions can be deceiving, and that we should always strive to look beyond surface-level characteristics to truly understand those around us. Number 5. Your mood can change just by seeing someone smile. Have you ever been in a bad mood and then seen someone smiling, which instantly lifted your spirits? You're not alone. In fact, there's a psychological phenomenon that explains why seeing someone else's smile can have such a powerful effect on our own mood. It's called emotional contagion. Emotional contagion occurs when we mimic the emotions of others, whether we're aware of it or not. And it's especially contagious when it comes to facial expressions, particularly smiles. Seeing someone else smiling triggers a mirror neuron system in our brain, which causes us to unconsciously copy their facial expression. As we mimic the smile, our brain releases feel-good hormones like dopamine and serotonin, which improve our mood. This is why it's impossible to be in a bad mood when you're surrounded by people who are happy and smiling. Their joy is literally contagious. On the other hand, if you're surrounded by people who are angry or sad, your mood will likely suffer as well. Of course, we can't always control the emotions of those around us, but being aware of emotional contagion can help us take advantage of the power of positivity. If you're feeling down, try putting on a smile and seeing how it affects your mood. You might be surprised at how quickly it can turn things around. Now that you know a few psychology facts that explain people's behavior, do you think it'll change how you interact with others? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button for more fun psychology facts. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.